It's no secret that the COVID-19 pandemic has been associated with an unprecedented surge in mental health illnesses, especially depression. But what if I told you that the COVID blues could be caused by what you're eating? New research from the University of Ireland suggests that patients with depression have different compositions of their gut microbiome, and changing the composition of the microbiome could be a step towards curing depression and anxiety caused by COVID-19. We now turn to Sarah and Sachin for details on the story.
Thank you, Alex. It has been said that we are what we eat, but new research suggests that COVID-19 is making us feel what we eat. We all have trillions of microbes living in our gut which help break down food, synthesize metabolites, and inactivate toxins. This ecosystem of helpful microbes, known as the gut microbiome, provides a protective barrier against harmful pathogens in our environment.
Using 16S rRNA technology to examine the bacterial composition of the microbiome, the researchers at the University of Ireland found that people with depression have a different composition of gut bacteria than those without depression. They were also able to induce depression in microbiota-free mice by transferring the gut microbiome of human patients with depression into the mice. The researchers suggest that the disruptions to the demographics of the microbes in the gut, known as dysbiosis, increases the intestinal permeability to bacteria, which causes inflammation of the gut. This inflammation releases chemical signals known as cytokines, which can enter the brain, resulting in neuroinflammation and the expression of anxiety and depressive states.
Researchers from the same laboratory who gave mice probiotic supplements containing a strain of bacteria known as Bifidobacteria had mice who showed decreased chronic inflammation, better mucosal integrity, and lower levels of cytokines in the blood. In human trials, the probiotic supplements resulted in decreased levels of cortisol, a long-term stress hormone, in the blood, and reports of improved mood. The participants who took the probiotic reported that the probiotics worked just as well as antidepressants did.
Researchers say that the changes in intestinal microbiota brought on by an increase of unhealthy diets during the COVID-19 pandemic may have led to increased inflammation and dysfunction in the body. This inflammation increases our susceptibility to depression and other mental health disorders. The use of probiotic supplements offers a cheaper and safer option to treating depression and anxiety, resulting in fewer side effects than our current first-line medications. They hope that the future development of probiotic supplements may be able to improve anxiety and mood in patients with depression.
Maybe I should ask my doctor about this.
Hello, Trisha. What brings you in today?
Well, I was watching the news the other day, and they reported that changing my microbiome using probiotics could help cure my depression. And well, I wanted to talk to you about it.
So much of the current evidence points to two strains of bacteria that are potentially helpful in alleviating depression, which are known as Lactobacillus reuteri and Bifidobacterium adolescens. There was a study I read actually that looked at the effect of these probiotics in adults, and they found that there were significantly reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety at 4 weeks, as well as decreased levels of a pro-inflammatory cytokine called IL-6.
What's IL-6?
So IL-6 is a molecule produced by macrophages or in our innate, which is an innate immune cell in response to infection by a pathogen or stress due to damaged tissues. And it is proposed that chronic production of this molecule can enter the brain if the blood-brain barrier is leaky, and can decrease the release of a brain-derived neurotropic factor, or BDNF for short. And BDNF is actually responsible for developing and maintaining neurons in the brain. And a decreased amount of it is actually associated with decreases in the number of connections between neurons in the brain. So it is actually responsible also for maintaining serotonin neurons in the brain, which can also play a key role in depression. So loss of serotonin and decreased connectivity between parts of the brain is responsible for interpreting expectations and emotions, which are also hallmarks of depression.
Okay, but if I'm looking to change my microbiota, what probiotics should I use?
Yeah, so that's a good question. There are currently many probiotic supplements which are sold by health food stores, but most of the market is not properly regulated, so it's hard to know what you're actually buying. And if you're looking to buy probiotic supplements, it's important to make sure that you look at the product label and that it's giving you certain information about the specific strains, as only certain strains of Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium have been shown to be effective.
Well, I kind of hate pills. Do I have to take a supplement to change my microbiome?
So not really. Actually, our microbiota has been shown to be greatly affected by what we eat. And the development of the most diverse microbiota actually comes from having a very complex diet. So people on the internet, might tell you that eating more fermented foods such as kombucha or sauerkraut could be used instead of taking like a probiotic supplement. However, there is little clinical evidence to show that this will actually help improve your mental health. And the number and species of fermenting microbiomes in these probiotic foods is probably different from the strains that will actually help you. So a better route actually would be to consume foods that are rich in prebiotics, which actually help to feed the bacteria in your gut. So these foods are actually a staple in a Mediterranean diet. And a Mediterranean diet consists of many fruits, leafy green vegetables, whole grains, seeds, and aims to cut out processed sugars and fatty red meats. This diet is rich in anti-inflammation and antioxidant foods, which have lots of vitamins and minerals, and actually have been shown to increase the number of protective bacterial species in the gut. And this kind of diet has also consistently been shown to help decrease the risk for chronic physical diseases such as inflammation. And there is new research that points to the idea that this diet can actually also help your mental health, as well as patients who were treated with antidepressants, as well as the Mediterranean diet, have also been shown to have decreased depressive symptoms.
I've heard a lot about this inflammation in the gut, but how do these bacteria actually help us decrease it?
Right, so that's a great question. So the microbiota in the gut breaks down these dietary fibers into molecules called short chain fatty acids. And these short chain fatty acids signal to the mucus producing cells in the gut, known as goblet cells, to increase the strength of the mucus barrier between our body and gut, reducing the likelihood that any bacteria that does get through actually will trigger the immune system's response. So short chain fatty acids also change the function of T regulatory cells in the gut. And these T regulatory cells tell our immune system basically to chill out, preventing the immune cells from being activated and stops the production of inflammatory cells or cytokines. So by providing these microbiota with food in the form of dietary fiber, this increases the microbiota diversity in the gut, leading to better production of these short chain fatty acids, which helps protect us from inflammation.
Well, thank you, Dr. Katia. I think I've learned a lot about the gut and mental health.
No problem. Have a good day.
Thank you.